everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going back to my trusty old TBR jar and doing my May TBR. Please excuse that I'm wearing a big snuggly jumper. You see this a lot in my reading vlogs, but I don't tend to wear it in sit down videos. But quite frankly I'm cold, so we're just going to keep it on. We're just going to be cozy in today's video. And yeah, we are going to do my April TBR. No, we're not. We're going to do my May TBR. The last couple of months I've just done a mood reading TBR, which has been really nice. I've got a lot of books that I've been really excited to read, but obviously that kind of means I am neglecting the books that have been on my TBR for a long time. So we are going to go back to the TBR jar today, and I'm going to try and do a mixture of books that I'm excited about and maybe some books that have been on my TBR for a while that could end up being, you know, maybe some hidden gems that I might end up really enjoying, but I'm not necessarily looking forward to them, if that makes sense. So first one, I'm not going to look, I'm just going to stick my hand in and pick one. Our first prompt is a second-hand book. Okay, that's a good one to get me to pick something that I've had on my shelf for a while, because the ones I'm excited about tend to be like newer releases. Most of my second-hand books you can't see, but they're on the bottom level. So we've got a few options. Oh, I don't know what to go for. I've got this little Agatha Christie book that is secondhand. I literally paid about 10p for this in a charity shop in Blackpool. And I'm kind of tempted to give this a go. I've never read an Agatha Christie before, so it's quite out of my comfort zone. I don't typically read like mysteries and things like that. So we'll go for this one. Something a bit, yeah, a bit out of my comfort zone. Let's go for our next prompt. The next one is a pretty cover. Okay, let me pick out a few options. The problem is that I'm trying to avoid starting new series, but it's gonna kind of have to be inevitable at this point, I think, because I don't have that many standalones left. Right, we'll go between these three options. I think I do have quite a lot of pretty covers on here. I've got a lot of fantasy like hardbacks at the minute that I've owned but haven't read, but we'll go for one of these three. So I've picked out The Essex Serpent, Fire with Fire, and You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, which I think the cover is gorgeous, and I also think the spine is gorgeous. It's like simple but effective. I think maybe let's rule out this, because I'm sure this is a duology, so I don't necessarily want to get into a series. So we're choosing between these two. I kind of want to just put both. Am I allowed to do that? No, we'll put The Essex Serpent. I'll stick to the rules. We'll just put the one on. We'll do The Essex Serpent. Again, this is very out of my comfort zone. I'm not sure if it's a book that I'm going to love, but the cover is absolutely gorgeous, so that's kind of why I bought the book, to be honest. I don't even really know what it's about, but I suppose I will soon find out. Right, next prompt. The next one is a book you know nothing about. Well, that's ironic, considering I just chose a book that I know nothing about. Let's have a look at some more on here. I know nothing about this. I know nothing about this. There's quite a lot on here that I know absolutely nothing about. Right, again, I've chosen three that we're going to try and narrow down. By the way, I just want to say, if you're new to my channel, if you've never seen one of my videos before, it might seem from the first two books I've chosen that I'm like, you know, a reader of, you know, classics and things like that. I'm actually not. This is my usual kind of genre. I'm very much a romance reader, very much a fantasy reader, like, you know, all the classic booktube and BookTok books. But when I use my TBR jar, I like to try and push myself out my comfort zone a bit. I'm purposely trying to choose books this month that I have avoided, particularly because, again, for the last 2 months I've completely just been mood reading. So I really do want to get to a few books on my TBR that I've had for a long time, which naturally tend to be books that are kind of out of my comfort zone. So we've got Songbirds, Anxious People, and Small Pleasures. I think I might go, we'll put Small Pleasures back, because I feel like I'm not sure how much I will like that, and I've already chosen 2 books that I'm not sure about. Kind of the same with Songbirds. It's another book that, again, isn't my usual thing. So I think we're going to go with Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I don't know anything about it, but I just think out of those 3, it's kind of the closest to something that I might enjoy and that kind of doesn't fit the usual genres I read, but I know a lot of people who I watch on BookTube who do read the same genres as me have read this and enjoyed it. So we'll go with Anxious People. Next prompt. A book in a series. Right, let's go for a book that is not the first in a series. Let's try and choose something that is a continuation of a series. And I think I know what I might go for. I think I'm going to go for the next book in the Lord of the Rings series. I've read the first 2 in the Lord of the Rings series and then stopped because I didn't love them. Oh, the text in this is tiny. We might choose this but then listen to it as an audiobook because the font is really small. I've read The Hobbit and then I've read The Fellowship of the Ring. Is this next? If it is, we'll read this. If it's not, I'll look it up on Goodreads. Whatever. People are going to hate me. I'm so sorry. I'm just not a Lord of the Rings girl. I think I'll love the films. I need to watch the films. The books I'm not sure are for me, but I already own the whole series. This, I think, or whatever the one after The Fellowship of the Ring, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Right, next prompt. I did just pick that without looking. I just realised I didn't film the jar. A book from your need to read pile. Okay, so that's basically just any of my TBR. When I made this, I had a specific pile of books that I'd been putting off for like a long time. But I think what we might do for this prompt is choose a book that I started a few months ago and put down. So a book that I need to read because I've already started it and I just need to kind of get it over and done with and finish it. We'll interpret it like that. I think I'm between 3 again for this one. I'm not always this indecisive, by the way. Again, if this is your first video, sometimes I just know what I want to read, but apparently right now I don't. So 3 books that I've got like a good, I don't mean I've read like a page, I mean I got quite a good way into all of these and then just put them down. So we've got Champion by Marie Lu, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. Mahurin. Again, it's the Yorkshire accent, I don't know how to pronounce things. The reason I put these down was that I wasn't loving all of them. Let's see how far in I am. I'm 165 pages into Strange the Dreamer. Oh, I don't know how far I am into Serpent and Dove because I was listening to it on audio. But I am like, I'm pretty sure I'm like halfway through Serpent and Dove. And then I'm not that far into Champion. I'm only 42 pages in and literally gave up just mid-chapter. Because I was hating it. So maybe we'll not do that again just because we've already got books out of my comfort zone. I think out of these, I wasn't liking either of them, that's why I stopped reading them. We'll go with Serpent and Dove. I think I'm further into that one, so I have an easier chance of actually getting that one finished. Right, I'm hoping the next couple of prompts, how many books have I chosen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do a couple more. I'm really hoping it gives me some prompts to choose like a nice little romance book because this pile's looking not good. Oh, I picked out 2 by accident, so we'll just use both. Oh, stop it. A book you didn't finish. Well, I've just bloody... Right. So we'll just put Strange the Dreamer on as well. This isn't going well. And then the other one I accidentally picked out. Fantasy. Okay, cute. Which fantasy book do I want to read? I'm kind of tempted to go for King of Scars, which is like a continuation after... You would read it after Crooked Kingdom, which I did reasonably enjoy. So let's go for this one, King of Scars. It's technically starting a new duology, so like starting a new series, which I don't want to do, but also it's part of like a bigger interconnected series, so I feel like it's fine. How many have I got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should we just do 3 more? I'm not going to read 10 books in a month realistically, am I? But let's just choose 3 more, round it off to 10, and then I've got some to choose from. I might get to 10. I read 17 books last month, but I've only read 7 this month. So we'll see. Maybe I will read all 10. No offence, but I'm predicting some of these are probably going to be DNFs. So yeah, let's choose 10. A romance! I swear, I'm not doing it on purpose. I was choosing that whilst I was talking and it genuinely does say a romance. Thank goodness. Right, all my romances are kind of down this way. Now, the romance I actually want to read is Binding 13, but it's big. And I've already got some quite big books. But should that matter? No, it shouldn't. Right, we're just going to go with my gut. Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. What's this one? A book that starts with A. Okay. So I'll have a look through my TBR. Do I have any books on my TBR that start with the letter A? After Love by Tanya Byrne. I think is maybe how you say your surname. I've got a very pretty edition as well with some nice sprayed edges. I do also have this on Kindle, so that'll be nice if I'm in the mood to read something on Kindle. Love a good sapphic romance, so yeah, quite excited about that one. I don't know why I've been putting it off. It's just one of those books that I own and just look at and be like, oh yeah, that looks good, and then just like still don't read it. So I'm kind of glad that that one got picked. And then the last one, a classic, Grow Up. Actually Grow Up. Well, there's so many books on this TBR that are completely out of my comfort zone. I think we're gonna have to do a classic on my Kindle because I don't own many. I've got my physical copies of some classics downstairs, but I've read most of those, and I'm kind of in the mood for a shorter classic so that it's not as, because I'm not typically a classics reader. They take me longer to read. I do have classics that I like, but I don't read them regularly, so I'm thinking maybe like The Picture of Dorian Gray. We'll say that one. It might come to it that I change my mind partway through the month and choose a different classic, because I feel like obviously classic is very broad. There's so many different genres within classics. I might not be in the mood for that, but we will say Picture of Dorian Gray for the classic that we're going to read this month. And to be fair, that will be satisfying because I've got a poster over there of the top 100 books and most of them are classics. So at least if I read it, I'll be able to scratch off a little picture on my scratch off poster. But yeah, that is my May TBR. There are maybe a couple of other books. I started I just nearly hit myself in the face with the bookmark. That would have really just topped off the video. I started Carrie Soto Is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I didn't get very far in, that far in. And I just put it down because I wasn't in the mood for it, not because I wasn't loving it. So if I get in the mood for this in May, I will finish it. If not, I will kind of leave it until I'm in the mood for it, because I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's books so much. I don't want to force myself to read it if I'm not completely in the mood and then end up not liking it. So that is a potential. And then kind of the same thing with these two. I started Once More with Feeling last month and I'm really not enjoying it, but I'm nearly halfway through. So I will probably at some point pick this up and just give it a go and either decide to continue or DNF if I'm still not enjoying it. And then One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I was actually quite enjoying. Don't really know why I stopped reading it. Again, not that far in. I'm that far in. But yeah, again, if I get in the mood for this, I'll pick it up. I love Red, White and Royal Blue by the same author. I don't think this is quite on the same level because, you know, if I was loving it that much, I probably wouldn't have put it down. But if I get in the mood, I will probably pick this up at some point as well. So we've got quite an ambitious TBR. Not necessarily in numbers. With those added 3, we've got 13, which is a bit ambitious now that I am working, you know, full time. But the most ambitious thing about this is that a lot of the books on here are very much out of my comfort zone. So it kind of takes me longer to read books that, you know, are a bit unfamiliar to me. But I'm sure it'll make for some good reading vlogs throughout the month of me struggling through quite a few of these books. So, you know, look forward to that. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!